What time is it, baby? You tell me. I think we all know that it's aside from 7:35 p.m. What was Nerd Out time? What's going on, you guys? Happy When Wellness Nerd Out time. And today we're going to be talking about vitamin B6 a little bit more. We're going to sum up our discussion about B6 or pyridoxine or pyridoxal 5-phosphate, we should say, which is the active form, right? If you take any of the other two forms of B6, they need to first be converted in the liver to P5P, again, pyridoxal 5-phosphate, to be active and have their beneficial physiological effects on the human body, right? So you could supplement directly with P5P, but usually not necessary because you can get plenty of it, about all you need from food, so long as you have a healthy diet, right? We'll talk about some food sources at the end. We're going to talk about deficiency. We're going to talk about the causes, some symptoms. We'll talk about the dosage and food sources here today. But we're also going to talk about Alex Markignan. Happy belated birthday, my brother. It was Alex's birthday, July 15th. We miss it because this is how you know Alex is cool, man. He doesn't have Facebook or all these other, I check Facebook and I see people's birthdays. I gave it away. Now you know how I always know his birthday it is. Unless you're like, close friend and I just know your birthday. But what's up, baby? How you doing, Lucas? Lucas hopping in while we just hopped on here, my brother. But Alex is cool because he doesn't have any of those. He doesn't need to. He's a very present, in the moment kind of guy. He doesn't get distracted by stuff like that. I respect that about you, brother. And we're going to definitely talk about him more at the end. But as for now, let's get into the meat and potatoes for the day. And we will start with some of the causes of a B6 deficiency. And some of the causes, well, number one, we'll mention alcoholism, right? No surprise, it sucks, right? Alcohol sucks. We say it all the time. Here's another reason. On top of that, malabsorptive disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, autoimmune diseases, kidney disease, and taking drugs that inactivate pyridoxine or pyridoxal 5-phosphate or any real form of B6 that you're taking or you're getting from the diet, such as isoniazid, for example. So we don't really talk about drugs too often. That's just one random example of one that could inactivate B6 and hence cause a deficiency, right? We always talk about natural stuff on here, but there's one as a fun fact. Now, when we talk about some of the symptoms you could get with a B6 deficiency, I know Danny and Alex are jumping right to peripheral neuropathy. We're going to get there, but as Kairos. But, I want to start with decreased energy, that lethargy. Well, it's no surprise you could have decreased energy. As we said, vitamin B6 plays a major role in both mental and physical energy production, as it is a crucial coenzyme to cellular energy metabolism. And so, decreased energy is one. And we're not going to say all of them, but we'll at least name a handful here. Two, you could get skin rashes, such as seborrheic dermatitis. That's just a scaly, itchy rash that you get on the skin, usually on the face. You could get dry or cracked lips, even a swollen tongue, right? Fun fact from boards. I think riboflavin deficiency also had the swollen tongue, right? Or magenta tongue, whatever. But yeah, even a swollen tongue. So tongue, again, dry or cracked lips, so skin rashes, decreased energy. On top of that, you can have a weakened immune system, so decreased immune function as P5P or vitamin B6 or pyridoxine plays a major role in immune function as well. Now, a very interesting thing that I was reading on WebMD, that is, with a B6 deficiency, you could actually see it in infants that the mother has been breastfeeding for more than 6 months. She's been giving them only breast milk, that is, only breast milk. They could have a B6 deficiency. So again, feeding your child only breast milk for more than 6 months could lead to a B6 deficiency. And some of the symptoms that baby might have, well, they might be a little bit fussy. They could have overly sensitive hearing. So little noises, things that normally wouldn't bother a child could irritate them. and they could even get things as serious as seizures. So, albeit they don't need much B6, they only need 0.3 milligrams a day. And we'll talk about the RDAs for different demographics at the end here. Albeit they need the least of all these demographics, they still need some, right? And just feeding them breast milk for over 6 months, it ain't going to do it, people, in terms of them getting their B6, all right? So don't do that. While we're on the topic of pregnant women and children, well, it could cause morning sickness with a B6 deficiency, so that nausea and vomiting in pregnant women could be due to a B6 deficiency. Again, so another interesting fact. It is no surprise. It is definitely no surprise that you could have neurological symptoms. As we said yesterday, that P5P plays a major role in executive functioning, in regulating things like mood and focus and attention in the brain, right? And so if you're somebody that, is sad or depressed a lot, or has trouble focusing or paying attention, or you're confused often, if you find yourself with any of these neurological symptoms, they could be due to a B6 deficiency as well. Now, all these things could be due to a lot of other deficiencies too. We're not saying this is the end-all, be-all deficiency that would cause all these things, but it is something that should be checked, all right, if you have these symptoms. It has also been shown that a B6 deficiency could increase your risk for cancer, and in particular, esophageal, stomach, breast, and prostate cancer. So that's another very serious thing that a B6 deficiency could lead to. So let's get into the dosage. What do you say? So when we talk about babies from 7 months to a year old, well, it is 0.3 milligrams a day. That is 0.3. All right, not 3. 0.3 milligrams a day. So not much. But again, don't just breastfeed them for more than 6 months. It could lead to a B6 deficiency. When we talk about adult men, it's 1.5 milligrams a day. Adult women, 1.7 milligrams a day. And pregnant women need the most at 1.9 milligrams a day. All right? Because you don't want any of those symptoms such as morning sickness, as we had just said, with a B6 deficiency, right, in pregnant women. When we talk about some of the food sources, well, healthy, great foods. It gets redundant here when we talk about the B vitamins because it's just all healthy stuff, right? But nearly top the table, or I should say pretty much at the top, is tuna. And just 3 ounces of tuna, that is 3 ounces of tuna, will give you half of your daily value in adult men that you need for B6. And again, that's 3 ounces of tuna giving you half the daily value in adults, right? In particular men, just about. When we talk about another great source, chickpeas, a cup of chickpeas or garbanzo beans will give you half of your daily value of B6 as well. And again, that's 1 cup of chickpeas. On top of that, other fishes like salmon or trout, but again, tuna is the highest when we talk about B6. Other stuff, poultry, eggs, some starchy vegetables. You got corn, whole grains, bread, yams, and sweet potatoes being a few more sources. And in addition to that, fruits in general, with the exception of citrus fruits. They don't really seem to have as much. They got a lot of other great stuff, just not that much B6. But fruits as well, again, aside from citrus. I do want to say, however, if these foods are processed under heat, right, cooking them, things like that, they could be canned or frozen. Usually being frozen, it's fine. It maintains the nutritional value for the most part. But according to WebMD, all of these forms of processing or any artificial thing here that is done to the foods, right, again, being cooked under heat, processed, and it being canned or frozen, it could reduce the value of B6 in these foods. So you're better off getting them fresh and whole, my fine feathered friends, to get all the B6 you can out of them and to get the full benefits, right? So what else are we talking about today? Alex Markingyan! I didn't forget. I'm just messing with you, man. Happy belated birthday, my brother. And you know, I love to just think from my heart and off the top of my head when I talk about somebody at When Wellness for their birthday. And it's not hard with Alex, man. Dude, I mean, I hope you see this. You are just an absolute beast. You're a beast. Your work ethic, your mental toughness. I mean, seriously, I really commend that, man. I always respected that about you. I really did. And it was an absolute pleasure, an honor playing next to you. And, you know, Alex, the full 80 minutes, I mean, he would never stop. He would just go harder and harder and harder. And so natural athleticism along with a great work ethic will take you a long way in sports. And great hands and that great work ethic and a great mind will take you a long way in practice and in life. So, you know, I wasn't surprised, albeit I was very proud to hear that you're going to be working on opening up another office here soon. So congratulations on that, my brother. And with all the good things we say about you, all the things that are true that came from the heart, once again, I want you to know absolutely 100,000% this one is for you, my friend. So, you know, again, we missed a birthday. It was July 15th, but we'll say happy birthday today, belated birthday at least, right? Because you don't got social media, and respect for that once again. I hope I see you soon, brother. Whether it's me visiting you guys up there in New Hampshire or it's you guys coming down for my party on Sunday, which would be pretty great. If you want to come hang out, we'll have a great time. And, you know, we'll be making steak and burgers, things like that, you know, so I'll try to entice you to come. You know, we'll get you here and play some fun games too. And let's see who we got on here today, people. Danny Kipp, what's up, my brother? Let's go is right every day. Mike Lawrenson, thanks for hopping on, baby. We got the whole rugby crew, at least two of the guys on here today, and we just talked about another great one. And that was a great discussion on B6 as well today, you guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. And happy When Wellness. Good night, you guys.